There has been nothing out of bounds in this campaign. From the incumbent side, Jair Bolsonaro, there have been accusations his opponent is supported by Satanists. And from the challenger's campaign, Lula, there have been accusations Bolsonaro considered cannibalism to get votes. With the runoff campaign wrapping up, polls put Lula in the lead, but barely. Political scientist Carlos Pereira calls the election entirely unpredictable. He says Lula's ahead, but that it's impossible to say who'll win. What makes this one so hard to call may have a lot to do with Bolsonaro's pitch to voters. He's borrowed from the Donald Trump populism playbook. Bolsonaro pushes distrust in state institutions, everything from the courts to the Board of Elections. Pollsters have trouble pegging his support because his supporters distrust pollsters. In the first round vote earlier this month, Bolsonaro finished in second with 42.2%. That was higher than expected and came despite mismanagement of the pandemic. The country had close to 700,000 deaths and growing poverty. There is a feeling among people their lives are economically worse off, he says, and we recognize that. Now, the frontrunner is a former president. Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva is known as Lula and ran the country from 2003 to 2010. When he left power, he had an approval rating close to 90%. But his reputation took a hit when his hand-picked successor ended up in a recession and a corruption scandal erupted. Lula himself was arrested and spent more than 500 days in jail over a bribery conviction that was eventually overturned. In a country where so many already distrust politicians, Lula's past scandals are seen by many as just the sort of thing they all do. Brazil's economy grew under Lula, and he's pitching himself as the person to do it again. He calls himself the candidate with the experience to rebuild the country. There are important issues that divide the two candidates. Bolsonaro loosened gun control laws in recent years. Lula's talked about tightening them. And they differ on climate change as well. Lula has promised to fight deforestation in the Amazon, something that has surged under Bolsonaro. He says enough of it's protected already. Well, the future of the world's largest rainforest is on the ballot Sunday. It just may not be a top concern in a country where poverty is a growing problem. Mike Armstrong, Global News.